I was kissing another man in his car when I realized I'd just thrown away 12 years of my life. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Mark and I had been together since college, married for 8 years with 2 kids, and he was safe. Predictable. He left for work at 7:15 every morning, came home at 6:30, helped with homework, watched Netflix with me every night. My friends called him boring. "You're only 32, Sarah," they'd say. "You could do so much better." Then Jake started at my office. Jake was everything Mark wasn't. Spontaneous. Charming. He made me feel 22 again instead of like someone's mom who hadn't worn anything besides yoga pants in 3 months. When he asked me to lunch, I told myself it was just work. When he complimented my smile, I convinced myself it was harmless. When he started texting me after hours, I deleted the messages but felt a thrill I hadn't experienced in years. The worst part? Mark trusted me completely. He never questioned why I was working late or why I bought new clothes. When Emma asked why mommy was always on her phone, Mark just shrugged and said I was probably dealing with something important at work. He made excuses for me even when I stopped making them for myself. I told myself I deserved this attention. Mark never surprised me anymore. We hadn't been intimate in months. He was so focused on being a good father and provider that he'd forgotten how to make me feel desired. Jake saw me as a woman, not just someone who packed lunches and coordinated carpools. The affair started 3 months ago. Coffee turned into drinks. Drinks turned into long conversations in his car after work. He'd tell me I was beautiful, intelligent, wasted on someone who didn't appreciate me. I ate it up like someone who'd been starving. I started missing Emma's soccer games because Jake wanted to see me. I forgot about Tommy's parent-teacher conference because Jake had booked us a hotel room. When Mark asked if everything was okay, I snapped at him for being paranoid. The guilt was eating me alive, but Jake's attention was like a drug I couldn't quit. Last Tuesday, Jake told me he was getting serious with someone else. Someone single. Someone available. This was fun, he said, but I need something real. I begged. Actually begged him not to end it. Told him I'd leave Mark, that we could be together. He laughed. "Sarah, you're a married mom from the suburbs. This was never going anywhere." That's when I realized I destroyed my family for someone who saw me as entertainment. I drove home in a daze, my lipstick smeared, my hair a mess, smelling like Jake's cologne. Mark was in the kitchen helping Emma with her science project while Tommy set the table. This beautiful, ordinary Tuesday night that should have been mine. Mark looked up when I walked in. His face changed immediately. "Sarah?" His voice was careful, like he was trying not to startle a wild animal. "What happened?" Emma and Tommy were staring at me. I could see myself reflected in their confused faces, a stranger who looked like their mother but felt hollow inside. "Nothing happened," I whispered, but my voice cracked on the lie. Mark walked over slowly. He touched my face gently, the way he had when we were dating. His thumb came away with someone else's kiss. "Who is he?" he asked quietly. The question hung in the air like smoke. Emma dropped her pencil. Tommy's fork clattered against his plate. I opened my mouth to lie again, but nothing came out. Mark's eyes filled with a pain so deep it made my chest hurt. "Kids, go to your rooms," he said without looking away from me. "But Dad, we didn't finish dinner," Emma protested. "Now." His voice was firm but breaking. They scrambled upstairs, whispering to each other. I heard Emma's door slam. Mark sat down heavily at the kitchen table, his head in his hands. "How long?" 3 months. The words fell out like stones. He nodded slowly, like he'd been expecting this answer. "Do you love him?" I thought I did. Another stone. But he ended it today. Mark's laugh was bitter and hollow. "So you came home to me because he didn't want you?" I wanted to deny it, to tell him it wasn't like that, but we both knew it was exactly like that. "Mark, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It didn't mean anything." He stood up, walked to the sink, gripped the counter with both hands. "It meant everything, Sarah. It meant our marriage wasn't enough for you. It meant I wasn't enough." "That's not true. Isn't it?" He turned around, and I'd never seen him look so tired. "You threw away 12 years for someone who just threw you away. What does that say about what we had?" I had no answer because he was right. He walked past me toward the stairs. "I'll sleep in the guest room tonight. Tomorrow, we need to talk about what happens next." "Mark, please. Can't we work through this?" He stopped at the bottom of the stairs, his back still to me. "You made your choice, Sarah. Now I have to make mine." That night, I lay in our bed alone, listening to him move around in the guest room. I could hear Tommy crying through the wall and Emma whispering angry words I couldn't quite make out. The house felt like it was falling apart around me, and I was the earthquake that had started it all. By morning, Mark was gone. So were the kids. So were half the photos on the mantel and the wedding ring he'd worn for 8 years. He'd left it on the kitchen counter next to a note that said simply, I'll be in touch through my lawyer. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Mark and I had been together since college, married for 8 years with 2 kids, and he was safe. Predictable. That was 6 months ago. I'm writing this from the apartment I had to move into after Mark got the house in the divorce. It's a 1-bedroom with thin walls and a view of the parking lot. Emma and Tommy visit every other weekend, when they feel like it. The silence is the worst part. For 12 years, my house was full of noise. Mark humming in the shower, kids arguing over the remote, the dishwasher running, life happening. Now there's just the upstairs neighbor's TV and the sound of my own breathing. Jake blocked my number the day after Mark found out. Apparently, word got around the office that I was going through something at home. My boss suggested I might want to look for opportunities elsewhere. I found out later that Jake had told people I was unstable, obsessed, that he tried to help me but I'd misunderstood his kindness. My friends picked sides. Most picked Mark's. How could you do that to him? Lisa asked me at Target one day. He worshipped you. The few who tried to stay neutral eventually drifted away because drama is exhausting and I'd become nothing but drama. My mom calls once a week out of obligation, but the disappointment in her voice is suffocating. I raised you better than this, she says every time, like I need the reminder. My sister won't speak to me at all. She always liked Mark better anyway. The kids are angry. Emma, who used to tell me everything, barely looks at me during our visits. She's 13 now and sees the world in black and white. I'm the villain who broke up her family. Tommy, who's 9, asks when I'm coming home, when we can all live together again. I have to tell him that's not going to happen, and watch his face crumble every single time. Mark got remarried last month. Her name is Rachel, and she's everything I'm not. Patient. Kind. Present. She was at Emma's 8th grade graduation, sitting in the seat that should have been mine. Emma hugged her afterward and called her mom by accident. It wasn't an accident. I tried therapy for a while. Dr. Martinez was nice enough, but what could she tell me that I didn't already know? That I traded a diamond for broken glass? That I destroyed something beautiful because I was bored? That I traumatized my children because a coworker made me feel special for 5 minutes? I scroll through old photos sometimes, back when we were happy. Mark making pancakes on Sunday mornings. Emma's first lost tooth. Tommy learning to ride his bike. Christmas mornings when the kids would jump on our bed and Mark would groan and I'd laugh, and we were everything I thought I was too good for. I thought I could do better. I thought I deserved more excitement, more passion, more everything. I had everything and convinced myself it wasn't enough. Now I work at a dental office across town, live alone with my regret, and see my children 4 days a month if I'm lucky. Mark sends polite emails about pickup times and school events. He's cordial, distant, like I'm someone he used to know instead of someone he loved for half his life. The affair lasted 3 months. The consequences will last forever. Last week, Emma made the honor roll. Mark sent me a photo of her certificate with a brief message, "Thought you'd want to see this." In the background, I could see their new kitchen, Rachel's flowers on the windowsill, the life they're building where I used to be. I wanted to text back something meaningful, but what was there to say? Congratulations on succeeding despite me? Sorry I missed another milestone because I chose someone who saw me as disposable? I wrote I'm proud of her and hit send. Mark never replied. There's no coming back from this. No redemption arc. No second chances. I didn't just cheat on my husband, I dynamited the foundation of everything we built together. I turned my children's safe, stable world into a broken home statistic. Some mistakes you make. Others remake you entirely. If you're reading this and thinking about that text message, that lunch invitation, that person who makes you feel alive again, remember this: the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's dead, and so will everything you sacrifice to get there.